Hello everyone. So here goes Miss Nikki again. So I just want to address a couple of little things. One of them is to address this whole issue of the angry black woman. So this is not a jab at any of, or to take away from any of my relationships with my friends who are not black. This is not about them, in a sense that I'm not just making this about black women per se. This is just addressing that whole idea about black women and the anger that they say that we have. And I had these conversations today with my mom and with one of my other girlfriends yesterday, and with another one of my friends today. And as I was thinking about it, and me trying to continue on my plight to make sure when I get out there in front of people, I'm correcting what I'm saying. That whole idea of being a woman of strength and perseverance and all those things is good, but this ethereal strength that we are supposed to have as a woman being black is a real bullseye for us. And I say that because God made the household in a certain way. God the Father, and we know God's kingdom and his rules, and then the husband and his wife, and then the children. And the reason why a lot of black women may or may not have anger, and why other black women who have husbands and families may not understand it, because unfortunately there may be quite a few women who are head of their households, who are single moms, who are taking care of their children, who are holding down everything. So they are, in a sense, not angry black women. They're just single mothers who are trying to figure out everything. They're trying to pay all their bills. They may have car notes. They have children who they're trying to put in school. They have kids who they want to go to college. They have aspirations for their children. And when you're a single mother, I was married. My kids had two parents in the household. So, I didn't have those struggles. When I got divorced, my kids were grown. They were older. So, they had already, mostly gone through college or in college. They had already had that. So when women who have to struggle by themselves and trying to figure out all these things, they come across angry because they're trying to be something that they're not supposed to be. A woman is not supposed to be ahead of her house. She's not supposed to try to figure out how to pay all her bills, try to feed her children, try to keep a roof over her children's head, try to be a mother and a father all in one. It's a very difficult task to undertake. You're not supposed to wake up every night and every morning trying to figure out how you're going to take care of your whole complete household by yourself. It is a very difficult job to do. You are spiraling in a position of masculinity when you're a feminine character. And for you, it's hard. You're constantly worried about how you're going to rob Paul to pay Peter and vice versa. And that does make you come across as angry. So it's not the stimulus, it's the response. So people will say, these black women are running around here angry. Yeah, they're angry when they have fathers who are absent. Unfortunately, society has locked up a lot of black men who want to be productive, or who may or may not have committed small felons, or maybe not even felons. They may have been locked up for things that are not even, punishable crimes. And so they've separated families. They've allowed situations that may not even, have not been their fault, to create this false sense of reasons for mass imprisonment. So you have men separated from their wives and their children. There's mass murders occurring. So all kinds of things have been done to create separation of the black family. Not to blame society, but we also participate in some of the things as well. So you have those components that have created these scenarios, and so you leave women to raise and to be and to have all these things laying on her chest. And it's difficult, so yeah, you have some sisters who are angry. Now she has to be the mother to her children. She has to be the father to them. She has to explain where she didn't want to explain. She has to clothe, feed, and roof and house and figure out, A through Z, when she may have been only handling A, B, and C. She may have been only buying food, paying her own little stuff, and living her life, through her own self. And now she's living her life for herself, her kids, and everything else. So things she never had to do, she has to do now. So now you created this whole element of, why did it happen to me? So she wakes up in the morning, she's not jovial, she's not smiling. You get why she's not like that. So I understand, and so I'm tired of people, making it out to seem that, black women are running around here mad and angry and what's wrong with y'all and why y'all so bitter. They have every right to be bitter when life has thrown them a boomerang and they didn't ask for it. They didn't ask for their spouse or boyfriend to either A, not step up, or B, be taken away from them. They didn't ask for that. They thought they was going to have that happy life that your girlfriend has in the suburbs, be she's black or white, because there's a lot of good brothers out here who get what being a man is like. And so they have that. I had a good marriage. I got divorced, but my kids had a good life. We didn't have to I didn't know what all that stuff was like, those struggles and, all that extra stuff. I didn't know any of that. I had a husband. So, life was good for us. My kids had 2 parents. We lived like a family. So for me to have to go through all that extra stuff, I was like, oh, wow. That's too bad. Like when people would say, oh, happy for, no, I didn't know about that, because we did everything as a unit. So I didn't have to worry about spending my check on a whole bunch of stuff but me. So, when people say, oh, do you have how much day? Yeah, I got a lot of stuff, but I gained that during that time. So, it makes a difference when you have a husband who's a husband instead of a man who's a taker, and you have someone who's equal to you. So it's unfortunately the truth. So I get their anger, and their resentment, and they're feeling like, society's played a cruel joke on them, and then they have to wake up and smile with their babies and make it happen. Some of them are working 2 jobs just to be able to afford these high costs of living in these cities we live in, or to try to maintain a roof, or to try to keep food in their kids' mouths. So no, it's not an easy road. So people need to really cut, black women a little slack. And stop talking about them, and stop making judgments and all these prejudgmental, ideations that they have against us, because it's unfair. We've been dealt some hands that are, very difficult if you're not walking in the shoes of some of these single mothers out here whose husbands or boyfriends have been removed by either incarceration or just because they don't want to, or God forbid, by murder in these horrible streets that we live in, and then they become something they don't want to be. So, it's a societal, a systematic design to rip apart the black family. So cut them some slack, let them be angry if they've been thrown into a situation that they didn't want to be in the first place. Allow them that space to be able to say, I'm sorry that you're struggling like this. Can I help you? Create an environment for them to be able to voice what's going on in their lives so that they can have someone to talk to, and stop saying they're a bunch of angry, mean black women, because for the most part, they really are not.